So videos like this take me back to a better time on YouTube when people weren't just trying to talk about accusations of people's wrongdoing and bad behavior, right, regarding their illicit affairs. For those of you that are familiar with the Chris Chan lore, you probably heard of the Sonichu Medallion, of course, a creation of Chris Chan himself. And this is a video that the Irate Gamer did on his Ghost Doctor channel. I'll leave it linked in the description below, where he talks about the Sonichu curse. He's talking about the medallion itself that Chris Chan made that apparently might be haunted, might have some demonic forces attached to it. And because of this, it's caused the downfall of some prominent YouTubers in recent memory. So this kind of started back on... Really, let me go back all the way here. Actually, around May 23rd, I guess on one of his streams, Chris, who is the Irate Gamer, Chris Boers, the Irate Gamer, aka the Ghost Doctor, and also a ghost behavioralist. He's done a lot of work like going to hauntings and stuff like that, and is a very big believer in the paranormal. But he made this video because I guess somebody had asked him about Nick Rekieta. Now, I'm not going to dive too deep into any of that because I don't have the full story on it, but I do know that there's been some controversy. There's been a decline with him for the past few months, but he was, I guess somebody brought it up to him, and he brought it up here in this short clip, and we'll just go ahead and put on the clip here real quick so y'all can hear it for yourselves. But this is him talking about it after somebody had asked him about it.
Hey guys, Chris the Ghost Doctor here, and last night I ended up answering a question about a online personality. I guess his name is Nick Rekieta? I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know who this guy is, but my reply ended up getting a lot of buzz. So I told everybody that I would do a video on this and kind of explain things in a little bit more detail. So they sent me some pictures of this guy back in like 2019 as compared to now. And if you see him back in 2019, he's very he looks full of life. He talks very well. And now his face is very gaunt. In his videos, I guess he slurs his words, on the verge of passing out from time to time, and people are like, what is going on with this guy? Because I guess he's an alcoholic. At one point he put a necklace on, and I guess there's some theories out there that it was cursed, and could that do anything? And yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to say that's the complete catalyst of it, but it could have, him putting a necklace on that somebody sent him that is cursed, could have opened the door. And if you don't know how to properly cleanse yourself or your space, you know, once these things start to slip in, they can kind of like plant their flag and start to invade that space and wreak all kinds of havoc on their life. I think it...
Okay, so I'll stop it right there for now, and I'll also go ahead and link this in the description below for those of you that want to see this video. But this basically started kind of to pique Chris's interest in this medallion, and apparently, you know, he talked about how other people were affected by this, and in his video, as you can see here, when he talks about the victims, which I'll go ahead and play here for a moment, there's a couple people that have been affected by this, and I think it's kind of funny. It's just, it's one of those things, I don't take it too seriously. I don't know how seriously Chris Boers himself is taking it, if he's looking at it as something that is legit, you know, this demonic curse surrounding this medallion by a person who is obviously not mentally well and has a lot of issues, has a very storied history here on the internet of having a lot of issues, right? But he goes over a couple of them here. We'll go ahead and watch a few of them.
Well, let's look at the evidence here. 2015, YouTuber iDubbbz was gifted with a Sonichu Medallion, which he unboxed and proceeded to put around his neck. Shortly thereafter, he suffered a series of weird circumstances and even caused him to almost lose 1 million subscribers at one point. October 2023, lawyer Nick Rekieta received a package from an unknown sender. A Sonichu Medallion was inside that he also put around his neck. 7 short months later, Nick began to show signs of odd health issues and behavior patterns. He was losing weight, falling asleep during live streams, turned to drinking and drugs, and was finally arrested that May. June 2024, Dick Masterson showcased a Sonichu necklace on his program, and mere hours after unveiling it to the world, the hosts almost got into a car wreck. July 2024, Ethan Ralph held up a Sonichu Medallion which could have caused a Category 5 hurricane to spring up and head towards the exact location where he lives, and the news keeps calling it unprecedented. Alright, so that last one might be a little far-fetched, but you can't dismiss the sheer oddity that is following the owners of these medallions.
All right, so there we go again. As you can see, yeah, it just interesting. I mean, there's no way, how can we make anything of this? Is it if it could be legitimate or not? It's just one of those things that's kind of funny. But what I find interesting is, yeah, it just so happens that a lot of these people did end up having this medallion, and all of a sudden all these horrible things befell them. It does leave one to wonder. It's like, man, could there be some legitimacy to these claims of these demonic forces attaching themselves to this object, right? Like how the what was the one doll, the Annabelle doll, that was said to be one of the most possessed dolls, I think, in paranormal history or something like that. I mean, I don't know all the details, but I know they've made movies about it, and other objects that have had these things attached to them, right? Like he's showing, he was talking about this throughout the course of from May to to June to even this month. Chris talked about it, not every day, but pretty frequently. And as we know, with Dr. Disrespect, right? This is something he didn't cover in his video. Chris didn't cover in his video. Maybe this happened after he had already produced the video, had already rendered it out and everything, but maybe he's going to be making a part 2. So, but we know what we heard about Dr. Disrespect, right? And everything surrounding that, and how there's been some bad stuff coming out about him as well. But you see here, he shows this picture and he says, the reason for Dr. Disrespect's downfall, a cursed Sonichu Medallion emerges. I knew it, LOL. Again, I don't know how seriously Chris Boards is taking this stuff, or if he's just having fun with it. Either way, I'm here for it. I like it. I think it's fun. But what's interesting too is that I guess, and we have a little bit more of an update, and I'll go ahead and play this video too. This was just a couple days ago, and I had retweeted this, but I think that Chris himself finally got a hold of one of these medallions, and he's going to be probably talking about it in the next part. So to Chris, I would say, hey man, be careful, because what if this curse attaches itself to you, right? Again, this is all in fun. I don't know if any of this is true, but it's interesting that he's willing to go this far, that he got a hold of one himself here. But let's watch the video real quick so you guys can see what he had to say here.
All right, guys, time is near. Sonichu, right here. All right, guys, time is near.
There it is. So it looks like he got a hold of one himself, presumably, right? Whether or not it's legit, I don't know. Maybe he got it from somebody. Maybe he got it from Chris Chan himself. Who knows? It's probably not something I would want to get a hold of, right? Given the history of Chris Chan. As we see, these are all handmade, and that's one of the things he talks about in his video too, is how, because it's a handmade item, that all that energy is put into that item, right? Like all these other possessed and these haunted items. So Chris Boers, Irate Gamer, Ghost Doctor, whatever it is you prefer going by these days, be careful, man. You might be next to be haunted. Hopefully not though. So, but be careful. I'm sure you're prepared for all of it. Maybe you got your holy water ready and whatever else you need to make sure that you don't end up being haunted by whatever evil entities are surrounding this Sonichu Medallion. But let me know what you guys think about all this. I think it's fun. It's YouTube. It's the kind of stuff that I love seeing on YouTube. And I'm really looking forward to seeing part 2. But I'll go ahead and link Chris's video in the description below for those of you that are interested in watching the full thing. And if you guys are interested in seeing some of these video clips as well that he posted on Twitter, I'll go ahead and try to put some of the links for those as well. All right, until next time, y'all know how it goes. The hunt continues.